Hi, and welcome to the Piano Man podcast. Today, we speak with Hans Vorstenbosch from the Netherlands. Hans has had great success with piano entertaining and his well-known band, The Originals, in Europe. We talk in depth about entertaining and his unique insight. Let's get into it. So Hans, welcome to the show, man. So great that we could have you, man.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
No,
Good to be here.
Awesome. So we know each other from Crazy Pianos from the early days.
Yeah.
Back in the dark ages.
The dark ages.
Yeah.
How long has it been?
It's been 24 years, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's long.
Well, 2001, I think I came to Crazy Pianos.
Yeah, that's 23.
Yeah.
Counts, 24 is fine.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
fine.
We'll live with that.
Yeah.
July 2001, I think
Yeah.
it was when
Oh,
I first
wow.
came. Now, you'd been there already for a couple of years before me.
Yeah.
You were involved in the beginning of Crazy Pianos?
Not the very beginning. I think it opened in December 97,
Oh, that early?
if memory serves me
Oh, I
well.
thought it was 99, but okay.
No, Scheveningen opened in 99, but there was a club in Rotterdam before that. I think that opened in 97. And I started there in April of 98.
Yeah.
As a bass player.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they were doing the dueling American thing where you had band moments and then you had the dueling things. Because it's funny, I've been listening to a podcast, the Piano Barbarians, which is really great. If you can check it out, do. And they were talking about how they have band moments. So they'll have a moment where they're playing just two pianos, and then and that's how it was originally.
Yeah, there were moments. There was no drummer or there was a saxophone player. Beb van Noord was there.
Oh wow!
He was
from
like
the beginning.
Yeah, like a stray cat, like I was actually. We were just there. We played. We weren't on staff. We just came in. I wanted to play piano there. But Benjamin de Leeuw, I knew him from my fraternity. And he said, "Oh, this is a place for you. This is going to be fun." So he brought me in one night, and I kind of auditioned, and I sucked really bad. But I'm also a guitar player mostly, so I just played bass. There was a bass guitar there for the band moments, and I just kept showing up. Yeah, that's what happened.
Did you study with Ben?
We studied. We were at the same fraternity. He studied law, I think, and I did something else. Back in the day at the university, and but we knew each other from the I think the student acting thing.
Oh, he studied law.
Yeah,
because he also studied music.
Yeah, he also did.
Yeah, later on. But what were you studying?
I studied beleid and management gezondheidszorg, elderly. I was going to be the manager of an elderly home, like my father was. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Wow, that's a real departure from music.
Yeah. I never studied any music. I just stumbled into different things.
So how did you get into music originally, like in your younger years?
Well, I have two older brothers, and they listened to a lot of music. There was always music present in our house. My father was a trumpet player in a Czech polka band.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, that's the perfect reaction to that. But for us, it was just really normal. It was pretty high level, and they toured. And
you mean Czechoslovakian, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just double checking because
yeah.
Czechoslovakian
polka. No. No, but I can hum a bar. No, it's a different style of music.
Yeah,
let's put it like that. But he was always working, listening to that, and also some classical stuff. But my brothers listened to Queen, and my older brother, he listened to more rock oriented music and Yngwie Malmsteen and stuff like that. And my oldest brother listened to Marillion and Saga, but. Queen was more omnipresent, I think. And I picked up from that, and I really liked it. And we had an old pump organ, a harmonium, in the shed or in the garage, actually.
Very cool.
And I just sat down, and the C sharp was stuck.
Oh,
that was always playing. So when you saw the pump, you heard the C sharp, and then you just started playing. So I learned to play around that a little, and my parents heard that, and the thing was kind of broken, and it was away in the garage. So one day they called me and said, "Hans, if we would buy a piano, would you play it?" Because it was a big investment for kids, you know.
Of course, yeah.
And I said, yeah. And I was 7 years old, I think. So the piano came, and I played 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
I was addicted to playing piano. Everybody was playing soccer on the street, and I was playing piano inside.
Yeah.
I listened to Queen, and Freddie Mercury taught me how to play piano. That's how it started. Yeah. And ended, really, because that's all the musical education I ever had.
Is you trying to find out how it works.
Yeah, I train my ears.
Yeah, that's interesting because, I mean, there was definitely no YouTube or it's not like when people think I train myself. No, you had records and you listened to them and you worked it out yourself.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Did you read any books or anything that told you anything about theory or harmony? Or
No. To this day, actually, I'm learning now to transcribe songs, but I can hardly read sheet music. I'm good with chords. But notes, bars, no, that's difficult for me. I don't.
Yeah, you know what? I've got a really great course if you're interested because I struggled with it when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I did this thing that I found in the library and it changed my life forever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it made it so much easier.
It sounds dramatic.
I'll have to share it with you, actually. I'll share it with you later.
Yeah, you should.
I really sucked when I was younger at sight reading, and it always looked like one of those impossible things from the distant, like, oh, God, I'm never going to be good at that.
It's like Harry Potter shit.
The people that do that are magicians, I'm not,
Yeah.
And then I found this book in the library at university. That's how long it took me, because I had to learn then.
Yeah.
We had classes, And it was a technique through intervals and feel.
Yeah.
And it had a very progressive approach from the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
And that I was like, oh, okay, this is actually not hard when I think of it like this. And now I can start reading and I enjoy it. I really find it fun.
Yeah, well, there's stuff I want to play that I can play.
Yeah.
Especially classical stuff.
Yeah.
I don't bash out Great Balls of Fire when I'm at home. I want to play Debussy or whatever,
Yeah.
And that's just hard.
To learn by ear, it's super hard, man.
Yeah.
Debussy especially. But and then, and reading, if you're restricted with your reading, is so painful with classical music. It's such a laborious, slow process. And I know that because I struggled like hell.
Oh, wow.
Persistently trying, but, but then later on after lots of study with that, I discovered, that's what that is. Oh, okay, now I can see how I could just play that if I knew that it was a chord. And,
but you're a great jazz player yourself.
Thank you.
And you play good classicals. I've heard you play all this stuff and recordings also.
Yeah.
But all I ever did was play at bars, really, or bands. And sometimes bands, it's more arranged, more rehearsed. But I never saw a place for too much theory or notes, even charts in whatever I did.
No, absolutely. I think, some people would disagree with me here, but I would say that the piano in this situation is the second consideration.
Yeah.
It's not the first consideration. The first consideration is the total package.
Yeah.
Like what you do with all of it and how you use it. Okay, if you can play, you need to have a minimal skill, and you need to be able to play the right things. You don't have to be a fantastic player. You need to be able to play the right things.
Yeah.
And that can be harder than spending all your time learning all your scales. And so, because if you don't know what to play and you don't know what decisions to make, and you don't have good guidance, then you're just never going to win.
No, true.
And I think most people struggle with this, especially people who, like myself, has studied and come into this with absolutely no friggin' idea.
Yeah.
It's like a kick in the balls, You've got all this skill behind you, and then suddenly there's a thing that's totally is like Chinese.
Yeah.
It's like it's not just the language of playing; it's the whole idea of being a piano entertainer.
Yeah.
And I find it really fascinating, and I love you have a very unique approach to other people I know, a really good approach,
Oh, cool.
So that's what I want to talk about today with you. But I find that very interesting. You never really studied any music, and you say your brothers influenced you. Did you do many bands and stuff when you were younger?
When I was in high school, I think I had some bands. They weren't really serious. They're more like a music school project bands.
Oh, yes.
And I got invited because I played in bands. So, hey, you want to join us? I was never part of music school. I was just part of that band. And when I was an older student there, we had a little band called Gerstenat, which is a weird name for beer. And we did a couple of shows just in school, like 3, and we did one in the bar once, and we got booed away, I think. That was it.
They actually booed you away.
Yeah. I remember I was a guitar player, keyboard player, guitar player, and I walked out with an amp that I borrowed because I didn't have an amp, and the guitar was my brother's, and only the neck pickup worked, and it was really bad. But I walked out with the amp, and one of the guys at the bar said, yeah, that's the first good play of tonight. I remember that distinctly. My first time playing outside school. So that's my. And then when I started studying, I was in university. I had a band, and we did some student parties. We kind of gigged, and pretty early on, I stumbled onto Crazy Pianos, and that was my first real band.
That's funny. That's my next question. How did you get into piano entertaining? Like, how did you actually find Crazy Pianos, and how did you learn the skill?
Yeah, I learned from copying others, but I think that's my job, and I think I got pretty good at copying others because that's when you're a cover artist, that's what you do. Well, you don't copy other people, but you copy songs. It's not you make something else your own. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
And I also did that with influences of others, like. There were players that steered towards an approach that I saw happening from me too. So I tried to take what I could and make it my own. That's what happened. Yeah. And I started out as a bass player there. So because there were band moments, that's how we started.
So you really learned by watching.
Yeah, watching and listening. Yeah. And I've been training my ears since I was 7. Yeah. And by the time I went into Crazy Pianos, I was 20, 21, I think. Yeah. I'm 46 now. Yeah, more than half my life.
Yeah.
And so I watched and listened and then kind of eased into it and faded into it really. And
right.
Yeah.
But the early days of Crazy Pianos, I'm not sure if it's the case when you were there, but they had some American people, because what I heard from the guys, from people like Stevie J, was that Crazy Pianos was actually the name given to the Howl at the Moon project in Europe.
Yeah.
So Howl at the Moon people have really set up this concept here in Europe. And so there's a few guys that came over for that. What was his name? Jeff
Smith.
And...
Sam Leatherwood was there.
Sam Leatherwood, yes.
I think one of the first players also was Chris Roberts. I think I met him once when he was in Scheveningen, but that was just one night, I think. But Chris Roberts, he left before I came. Eddie Thompson, he also played. I think the 4 of them, I'm not sure. At least Sam and Jeff and Eddie played at Howl at the Moon, San Antonio. And I think Chris played in Miami, Howl at the Moon, Miami.
Okay.
And later on, Ken Gustafson played the Crazy Pianos. Oren Sands came over. And those are all guys that played. I'm probably forgetting some.
What about Ben Michaels? Was he from?
Ben Michaels, of course. Oh, he was also from Miami. Yeah.
Miami, yeah.
Yeah. He was one of those early Americans from Howl at the Moon that came over.
Yeah.
And they kind of trained us, showed us the ropes, like they had learned from guys before, because it's been a long tradition there. And this was the first bar, at least in the Netherlands, that worked like this, and I think even in Europe.
Yeah. It was, as far as I know.
Yeah.
It's interesting you say about the training process. Now, as I was saying to you before, I've listened to quite a bit to the podcast from Piano Barbarians.
Yeah.
Barbarians? Barbarians.
Yeah. Bavarians.
No, it wouldn't be that.
No.
Barbarians. I listened to them talk about how a lot of them got into it. And a lot of them got into it by coming in and doing a few songs every week or so, building up their rep. And over time, over like 6 months, a year, they got the skills together and they joined the job.
Yeah.
Now, was it like that here in the beginning?
Yeah.
Or was it like crash course because we need people and there wasn't enough players, so we're just going to teach you as you're going?
Well, it felt like in the old days there were just 2 Dutch guys and the rest were just Americans that have been doing that forever. So it didn't feel like there was a shortage of staff in the beginning in Rotterdam, this is.
Yeah.
It was just the American guys struggling to see what would work with Dutch people. because the crowd is completely different.
Yeah, right.
And also, the American dueling piano style is more a stand-up comedy bits, doing jokes.
And do you feel that doesn't work as well here?
Oh yeah, not at all. It's that's why there were band moments at the changeovers. Funny story. In the early days, we didn't have schedules. Everybody just showed up like half hour before the gig. Okay, let me start with you. Okay, everybody just showed up, and there were no schedules or whatever. We were all there, and all of us together made a good night. Where was I going with this? I was going to say something. Oh yeah, so we at the changeovers, there were the band things. So then the new two guys came up and they took a bass and drums and did a couple songs together. Yeah. And that's when the Dutch audience starts working or moving. They need a beat. They're especially Rotterdam, which is one of the founding cities of dance music, electronic dance music.
Yeah.
You need a beat with a crowd like that.
And what also Dutch music.
Yeah. Well, that was before the Dutch music as we know it today. André Hazes was a thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like the last 10 years, Dutch music has really progressed into something mainstream.
Yeah, you mean more like Dutch popular music?
Yeah.
I mean, because I think back then it was more Dutch folk music.
Yeah, and the folk music has become more mainstream.
Yeah. But was it not more mainstream then?
Yeah, there were always bands like The Dijk and Van Dikhout and before that, the Toontje Lager and Het Goede Doel. There were always bands that would have songs that would work, but those were not songs meant for bars, really. You know,
really?
Like stuff you have today. How do you say that? Like the folkier side of songs. That's really made for bars, I feel. Like
for bars, for sing along in bars.
Yeah.
But isn't that what the concept kind of was a cross between?
Yeah, but
or became
back then it wasn't that style of music wasn't that big yet. You had the more credible pop rock songs or Dutch pop music, but the Dutch crowds need a beat usually to get going, because that was my point. So what happened really quickly was there was a bartender or a staff, Patrick.
Yes.
Drummer, and he could play some tunes on drums, and he gradually became a full-time drummer because the Dutch people need a beat, and we quickly felt this is what works, you know?
Yeah.
So when I first started, there was only a tambourine, and then the drum kit came, and then the full-time drummer came. This all happened within the course of a couple months, really.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It happened really quickly. So, and then the concept really caught on, because then you can make a party night with a beat all night long. So that's how that gradually.
And how did the American players handle that?
Yeah, well, they had to adjust really, because it was completely different from what happened there.
Were they also using left-hand bass?
No.
Or did that come even later? So it was just drums and piano in the first place?
No, and a bass player. So one of the guys played a bass guitar.
Oh, okay.
That's where I came in. Yeah, when I first started. Yeah.
It's funny because, doing a bit of research online, I found some videos of Howl at the Moon and stuff where they have either a piano player playing keyboard bass in the background, like the piano player themselves are not doing it, but someone doing that and someone playing guitar and someone, so they'd have band moments, you know? I was like, wow, that's really different to what we do here, you know?
Well, even I know in Las Vegas, I don't know which bar, that they play keyboard drums.
Yes.
For certain songs.
Yes. Now, I've heard and seen that actually someone that I know that does that in Australia, Jevon Clark.
Oh.
Now, he does that. He has dueling pianos where one of you plays piano drums.
Oh, really? Okay.
For the other person.
Yeah.
And I know that because, what's her name? Robobond.
Sonia,
Robobond. She went to there, and I hooked her up with Jevon. And I said, there's this piano player. She's really good. You know?
Yeah.
So she ended up working with him.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, yeah, we have to play piano drums for each other. You know, that's kind of, that's really interesting. That's a different approach again I've never heard of. So that was something you guys did as well.
Yeah, well, no, but we never play keyboard drums. I like doing it to do some percussion stuff, because I don't like the keyboard brass thing. I don't know where that ever started, and it sometimes sounds like a player is choking a whole brass band all night long because they're all playing 7-minute notes. You know, I don't see why you should play brass like an organ. Anyway, so I usually put.
Well, there is organ brass too, yeah.
True. That's the thing.
Yeah,
it's a different podcast. But but I usually put some percussion up there. I just said if I do something that's not melodic, I just play some percussion or do something. Or when somebody plays Whitney Houston, play the 808 cowbell.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Some of those sounds actually on the keyboard, the top keyboard, like for. I want to dance with somebody or the dance stuff. I think that really makes a massive difference if you've got that and you can use the filters and stuff. And you really start to sound kind of dance momenty, you know.
Of course, yeah.
That's where it actually works really well because it's convincing.
Yeah.
The brass sound is a little bit hokey. Yeah.
It is, yeah. And like some songs have brass and some songs like if you're In the Stone by Earth, Wind & Fire, if you play that without brass, it's pointless. Obviously. Not that that's a perfect piano song, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Yeah. It sounds great when you use it.
Yeah, but Summer '69, why would it have a brass band?
It does not. And you shouldn't.
It has a lot of times.
Yeah, it kind of becomes generic, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Interesting. Well, personally, I don't use brass for that song. I use the synth sound.
Okay, you know?
And sometimes I use guitars, but yeah, it kind of falls short that you kind of need synth and guitars, you know.
Yeah, but the guitar is the same thing. If you play, I've been a bass player so long, and also I have my own band, the Originals, and I've been the bass player of that too for a couple of years. Yeah, because I don't know what I am.
Now you're the guitarist.
What's that?
Do you play guitar?
I'm the guitarist now. I do play piano in some songs, but I've been a bass player for a couple of years. So I tend to think as a bass player. If I play key bass and sing and play piano, my right hand is kind of doing this. It's just there. But the left hand, that's the most important thing. That's the basis. So I tend to think as a bass player more than a piano player when I'm doing this.
I got to say, I really enjoy playing left-hand bass because I love thinking about my left-hand bass.
Yeah.
About what should I do? You know, where should I go?
Yeah.
Because, you know, I really try to sound like a bass player.
Yeah.
You know, and there's so many options about what you could do. You know, and it tends to dictate what the drummer does.
Yeah.
So you can make breaks in that with your bass. You know, and that changes the whole moment. It's really, I find it really cool. Lots of fun to do.
Yeah. It is. But it's making music.
Exactly.
You're a two-man band.
I got to say this about this concept that you guys developed here is that it's a lot more musical than the original dueling pianos concept. And I get it. The original dueling pianos concept is a lot more in contact with the people.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot more. And it's kind of like some offshoot of the home, gather around the piano and sing along. You know, even World War II, there was a lot of that in England, where people would sing along to their Roll Out the Barrel or their favourite Show Me the Way to Amarillo, or you know, and that's where that's come from. You know, and that's developed in its own way. You know, and a lot of the piano players that come over to Crazy Pianos really struggle with the whole keyboard concept, you know.
Yeah.
Left-hand bass concept. That's really a new thing that takes years of refining, you know.
Yeah.
And I find it a lot of fun to do. And actually originally why I came here was because I knew I sucked at it and I wanted to be good at it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I heard about this Crazy Pianos when I was in London.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's left-hand bass. I've heard about people doing this, and that's how it should really be, rather than backing tracks and stuff. Because backing tracks really piss me off because they were just fixed and, you know, they were unrealistic. This is not a live moment. This is a pre-recorded moment.
Yeah.
But you needed to pick it up some. And if there's only one of you, left-hand bass, or two of you, left-hand bass and a drummer, this is an awesome idea.
Yeah.
So coming from absolutely nothing, not knowing how to do it at all, to, I can see how the Americans would have been totally afraid, you know.
Yeah, it's a different thing. That's a sensitive point you mentioned, because I still think that it could be the living room situation here. And I think I'm a little old school in my thinking here, I think, but I think that that still applies. If you really treat a big club full of people, full of sweating people, as a living room, you get the best response still. And I also feel that if you can play left-hand bass, or it doesn't really matter, because the music is the vessel and not the goal. The music is the means. The goal is to have a great atmosphere.
Absolutely.
And so that's a whole different approach, I think. And then the living room comes in handy, because if you keep that in the back of your mind, what you play doesn't really matter anymore. It's just your approach and the way you approach the people, and it's about communication more than music.
Yes and no. I think what you're playing for you doesn't matter, because you've developed it, and it's now in the background, and what's in the foreground is just you connecting with the people. But before that, it was all about the playing and how do I do this and what's my approach. And that was the journey for the player, getting to that point where that becomes automatic.
Yeah, of course.
And then you can entertain. Because it's so hard to entertain if you can't play what you need to play.
Yeah,
and it doesn't really matter whether it's a bass or not. You're right.
I say it's a vessel, but if your ship's sinking, you're not getting anywhere.
No, exactly. It's a good analogy. For sure.
Yeah.
I find for me, it's been so much fun to learn and become this, And now I just love doing it. I just love, even with the drum machine or whatever, I love playing left-hand bass. And, a lot of people will use, when they go to do solo gigs, these rhythm accompanies with all the shit playing in the background. Yeah, okay, I get it. People like that. I do not like that at all.
No.
I wanted to keep it as realistic as possible. Yeah. Keep it down to a drum beat. If I and a simplified drum beat at that.
Yeah.
Nothing fancy.
No.
Just so I could get going and play my left-hand bass and do whatever I have to do. But yeah, I mean, you don't do that when you play solo. Now I know you play Maxime piano bar, and you're one of the few people that just play piano. And that.
Yeah.
And how do you find that? Do you ever find that there's moments where it kind of needs an extra lift? Because as you were saying to me before, sometimes they need a beat, the Dutch people.
Well, once they have it, you can't take it away anymore. That's the thing.
Yes, that's
the
true.
thing.
Yeah.
So if there's a difference between a live beat and a pre-recorded beat. Like if you have a break and the DJ starts playing, it's a different thing.
Yeah,
so if the DJ stops, you can go back being just a piano player by yourself. I do feel there's a limitation there that I did weekend nights there, and that's really hard work because all the energy you put out there has to come from you.
Yeah.
And then you can't lean into a beat, or like you mentioned before, the dance sounds. If you can just put those on, you play a couple of notes, and there's a beat go, and then with minimum effort, you get maximum result.
Exactly.
There's none of that when you do that. So.
I would never work a weekend there because it's so busy.
Yeah.
And even with my equipment, it sucks the life out of you. That's
it's hard work, but
because it's 5 hours that gig.
Yeah, but it's I think my favorite place on earth to play.
Absolutely, and that's why I still play there once a month.
Yeah,
because I've been playing there since 2001.
Yeah,
and it's morphed, it's changed. Yeah. I don't know how long you've been playing there for. But
yes, I think the same. Yeah, probably the same.
So you remember the days when it was that skinny long bar?
Yeah, they're really dark. Yeah.
So many stories around that place, I tell you.
I know.
And because I came from abroad, I always stayed in an apartment given to me by them.
Yeah.
And it was so cool living in Amsterdam, for 2 weeks with a beautiful apartment right in the center.
Yeah.
You couldn't want more,
No, of course.
And they also did sail. So I would do on the canal boat for a few hours, going all around Amsterdam, and then come into the club and play the rest of the regular shift all night. That was murder. I was dead at the end of it.
We were young. We
were
young and stupid. Yeah. No, it's my favorite place because what happens there, people sit at the piano.
That is cool.
And I do just a piano, and I really only want to do requests because that's my thing.
Yes.
If there's no challenge of requesting things, I love that interaction. That's what I do.
Yeah.
With the originals also, that's a request show. That's I like the element of surprise, the element of improvisation. And that's right there. That's the summum, I think. So you sit there, people sit right at your piano, look you straight in the face, say, "I want that song," and then the crowd goes like, what happens there? And you start playing that song or not. And I think I'm on the spectrum. Actually, I know I'm on the spectrum. I hope you don't notice, but I can remember a lot of lyrics. I know a lot of songs, and so I sometimes, most of the time, succeed by when people request songs, and it's just such a rewarding, fun thing to do. It's like walking a marathon, but it's the finish is
yeah.
I love it there. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I do. I love it there too, and I pretty much try to keep it completely to requests.
Yeah.
You know? And if I really don't have it, because on a Monday it can be a bit quiet. If I really don't have anything, what I actually do is play spin the dial.
Oh.
So on my drum machine,
Yeah.
I've got all the different beats, and I've actually set it all up with beats and sounds for different songs.
Yeah.
So I've got like 400 or 500 in there programmed.
Yeah.
I've got some generic like rock and stuff because
Yeah.
I'm not going to make something for everything. No. But what I'll do is I'll spin the dial and hit it without looking and see where it ends up. That can be scary.
That's for you.
Yeah.
To entertain yourself.
Well, no, I do it for the people. So,
also,
okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to play Spin the Dial and explain to them. Spin the dial, and we are playing, Wannabe Spice Girls or, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's silly, but it is, and tips can be great there, It's one of the few places where tips can be good.
Yeah. Well, I never ask for them though.
No.
I just they happen and they're nice, but it's I'm there just for myself. It's very egocentric. For me. Because I come there with refreshed energy and a shot voice. That's true because it's a long night.
It is a long night.
Yeah, but it's just so much fun.
Have you done any formal singing training?
Never. I should.
Have you had a lesson at all?
Never.
Oh, okay.
I've never, honestly, I had music lessons in school, but that was just for the whole class.
Yeah.
And that was very, very generic, basic stuff, do re mi. Apart from that, I never had one music lesson in my life. No.
Yeah. Okay.
I should, because I'm mediocre at everything I do, but I think my ears are really good. I think that's what happened. I dare to say that of myself, but I'm a decent enough piano player. I can accompany myself. If I have to solo, let it be in C. And then it's the same with guitar, really. I think I've good. My sounds are okay, and I know what a song needs.
Yeah.
But technically, and it's the same with vocals. Technically, it's all a little underdeveloped, maybe. But I've been doing it for so long. I think I'm doing something right.
What about your musical influences? I know we talked about Queen. That was a big influence for you and still is, especially in what you play. You know quite a bit of Queen, don't you?
I do, yeah.
You did the tribute with Roel van Velzen, toch?
I filled in on, he did a theater show that was a tribute to Queen, and I filled in on bass guitar for one of those,
Oh, okay.
So there's only one show, really low, how do you say that? A lot of work for a little return.
Oh, okay.
But it was so much fun. And Roel's a good friend of mine, and Queen is, just to be able to play with an amazing band and play all those songs in the theater. It was amazing, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but so Queen, Brian May, because I also play guitar. I think I'm a better piano player than a guitar player, but guitar, I
find his whole guitar thing fascinating. How he plays with a penny and how he developed his guitar, some kind of mad engineer.
But he built one himself. That's the sound.
With his dad.
Yeah, that the same as Tom Morello, the guitar player from Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, yeah.
He bought an amp and he set it up once. And so this is my sound from now on. And still, when he has the same amp, the same cabinet, he puts it up there, he puts the knobs at the same. That's his sound. He never changed anything. That's it. And that's how Brian May does it, And it's but it's still at the same time with the limited stuff he did, be super experimental and just be instantly recognizable at the same time. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I that's massively inspiring still.
Yeah.
And but also Gary Moore. I listen to a lot of Gary Moore, and even when I play piano solos, just little licks I still steal from Gary Moore. It's that's
from guitar.
Yeah, in there. And for the rest, whatever tickles my fancy.
What is really fascinating is. You often hear when you do things right and wrong, like, for example, you'll learn something and you'll think this is the way it is. And then you hear someone else do it and you go, oh, no, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
And you know what I got from you?
No.
You do bump, dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Right. Well, most people will just do it like one-dimensional on one chord. But you do that pretty much three-dimensional, 1, 5, 1, 5. You move through the whole chords. I was like, oh, that's how it should be.
Yeah, minor 4 for the win.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I'm glad to be of assistance there.
No, just actually, I heard you not that long ago. Crazy Pianos do that.
Yeah.
And I thought, yes, I kind of recollected originally hearing that riff, and that's how it was.
Yeah.
And I'd forgotten that's how it was.
Oh, wow.
Until I heard you play it again. I was like, nobody plays it like that. Like nobody. That's awesome.
Okay.
And that's actually a benefit of really focusing on your ears.
Yeah.
If you leave your ears, sometimes you do things through harmony and technical ability. You go, oh, well, it's got to go like this, and you won't even listen to it. You know? I mean, I think probably 60% of the songs I play I've never heard before, you know?
Yeah.
And I've kind of heard them, and I've just gone out and played them and guessed them, you know?
Yeah.
Part of the thing, I think everybody does that.
Of course, yeah, that's the game. That's fun, yeah.
Yeah, it is. But then you go back and you listen to it, and you go, oh, my God, I was so wrong. That's not... Have you ever found that with songs?
Well, my memory's kind of good, and I think my real skill that I developed over the course of 26 years already is that I know what to avoid. I think that's mostly it. So, for example, Bruno Mars doesn't suit me.
Okay.
For some reason. I don't know why. And I love listening to it. I think it's an amazing songwriter. All the production, all the everything's perfect. But
it's not your style.
When I touch it,
yeah,
average maybe. So I tend to stay away from that. I don't know what it is, but I know what to avoid, I think, and that also goes for songs. So I'm not very adventurous, but I do have good memory, and my ears are good. So that helps me along quite well, actually, I think. Yeah. But what I do, what you said, like the spin the thingy with this, what song to play. What I do to tickle myself is nowadays you always play at digital pianos. When it's quieter, say on a Monday at Maxime's, I play Piano Man in B, but I transpose it up a semi-note. So it's still in C, but I play it in B, or I play it in C sharp and I transpose it down a semi-note.
Oh, okay.
Just to tickle myself.
Oh, to keep yourself interested.
Yeah, and also because then you play a C sharp, but you sing a C. That also, so there's all kinds of conflict going on, and you have to be very awake. You can never rely on the same patterns because they don't fit in B or C sharp, but also the same patterns so you have to really listen and work. And I love doing that.
That's really interesting. I actually did speak to another piano player that does that. Do you know Lodewijk van der Linden? Lodewijk?
I heard his name.
Okay.
Yeah.
He hasn't played much at Crazy Pianos at all, actually.
Yeah.
But he does that as well, changes key just because he's bored, you know, and tries to do the whole song in a different key.
Yeah, bored is maybe not the right term, but you know what
the song.
I mean. Yeah,
you've played it a million times. What can I do to excite myself?
Yeah.
I mean, not bored of playing. Because,
of course,
that's really interesting. Can you tell me about a crazy gig story, like one where funny, crazy, mad thing happened?
Oh, God.
A good gig story.
Yeah. I had some really bad moments.
I mean, you're 100 now. You should have many of them.
I have. I'm thinking of which one to tell, which would benefit the world, or which would not offend too many people. Okay, what happened once was with Crazy Pianos, which is a really Rotterdam thing at the time.
Yeah.
Feyenoord, the local team, played the cup final against Utrecht.
PSV?
In the Kuip.
Oh, not PSV.
No, this is 99, 2000.
PSV,
I don't know, a long time ago. The fans will probably know. Anyway, Crazy Pianos was the opening act at the middle of the field.
Yeah.
And I got to do that with Roel.
Yeah.
Great friends together. And Bjorn, the owner, said, okay, I want you guys to do this at the match day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
Great. You have to do it with drum machine and in ears. Okay. So I never touched a drum machine in my life, and neither Roel. And we never played with in ears before. And we were at the middle of a sold-out stadium warming up the crowd.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So this was a big thing.
What drum machine did you use?
We bought one new because we had to have one. We got some budget. We went to Feedback here in Rotterdam, bought a drum machine. I don't know which one it was.
Is Feedback still in existence?
Well, it turned into Key Music, and now it moved, and I think now it's gone.
Yeah, I think it's gone now.
Yeah.
Okay, they did switch to key music. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because
totally.
I used to love it how they had like this little museum as you came in.
Yeah.
They had all the old instruments. And
There was our old hangout. Let's go to the hangout. And we just walked around looking at stuff that we would never buy. But anyway, so we got a drum machine there.
Yeah.
We did an all-nighter.
Which drum machine was it?
Oh, yeah. I was thinking it might have been Elise's or I don't know.
Elise's is the one that most people bought and it wasn't too expensive, but it kind of did the job pretty well.
Yeah, well, it wasn't the one. There was a thingy, the SR16 or whatever it's called.
SR16.
Yeah. It wasn't that one.
Oh, it wasn't?
It wasn't, no. It was a different
pre
one.
that.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It was, anyway, we got one. The one that looked good.
Okay.
For that moment.
Okay.
So we spent all night from 10 at night until 6 in the morning programming it and making a set list, making sure that nothing could go wrong, which already happened at that point because we went to bed at 6. And we had to be at the stadium at, I don't know, 11, a couple of hours sleep. So I picked up Rule, we went there, we did a sound check. First time in ears, which is a big thing, because it's a whole different experience.
Yes.
And so we figured everything's under control. The drum machine worked. We had a little medley worked out. He did his thing. I did my thing. It was perfect. So then showtime. We went up to our thingies with our bell packs behind the pianos in a big sold-out stadium. People yelling and screaming and going crazy. And then we couldn't see the sound technician because somebody had set up something before him. We couldn't have eye contact with him.
Oh, no.
And the sun was shining. So what happened was we pressed play on the drum machine, couldn't hear the drum machine, and we couldn't see the lights of the drum machine because the sun was shining on it. We couldn't see anything. So we had no way of knowing where the one was of what we had programmed.
Oh, no.
So we had to focus on the stadium speakers, which are 7 million speakers, all at 50 meters from you. This is what happens.
Out of sync.
So out of sync, and we couldn't see the sound technician. We bombed so hard, and all of a sudden, Rule got up on the piano to do "We'll Rock You" or something, and the whole crowd started cheering to, finally we have him. But that's when the keepers walked into the field to do their warm-ups. So that's why the crowd started cheering. So we were booed off out of the stadium by 50,000 people.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is a story right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to hurt.
It was.
Did you cry?
No, we were really mad at everyone except ourselves. We were victims of bad preparation. That's what happened. We tried everything we could. We just couldn't do much. That's
what really sucks is they didn't have an actual drummer for such a huge event.
Yeah, well, they had to roll everything up and down within 10 seconds. Yeah, they could have had
but
a rolling riser.
You would have been better off just having 2 pianos.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
And like going, okay, we can't do this. Turn that shit off. Let's just play.
Yeah.
And it was just kept trying to push against the tide there.
Yeah, but what you do learn is that if you once experienced something like that, then nothing will scare you ever.
Yeah.
And for what we do, you have to be kind of fearless. You know?
Do, absolutely.
What you just said, 60% of the songs I've never played before.
Yeah.
That's what we do. Exactly. That's what I do too. And I think 60 is conservative. Yeah, and so you have to be kind of fearless.
Yeah, you do.
That's the biggest thing for a new guy starting to do this. The fear factor. That's you have to go in and just be convincing. If you look convinced, then people believe what you do.
Yeah. I developed a technique when I came to Crazy Pianos because I really sucked because I just didn't know anything. Mm-hmm. You know, I'd never done this before, and so I had to condition my mind as to how to cope with it.
Yeah.
So my idea was always, hey guys, I would say to myself, I'm learning, and you have to go through this. So sucked into you because I sound like shit. And you're just going to have to deal with it. I'm never going to see you again, and I don't care about you. Yeah. So I'm going to bomb as hard as I can until I get it right.
Yeah.
And I kind of had to let myself go, it's okay. You can bomb. These people deserve it.
Yeah.
You're sucked in. I'm learning. You're dying. You know. So
as your boss, I would have an opinion about that. But you make sense. You make sense.
It was a psychological game. You know? That's what gave me confidence to actually do okay.
Yeah.
In the end, you know, I mean, because I wasn't technically that bad, but my problem was overcoming the fear of really not knowing what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah.
And then letting yourself fail, because if you don't, you're never going to succeed.
No.
You have to fail to know, don't go that way. Okay.
Yeah. With the band, because we also play a request with the originals, and we sometimes had the criticism, oh, this is all fake because you sound so good. Because there were songs that requested that we didn't play for the first time, admittedly, but still, it sounds good. You know, it's a moment thing. People say, yeah, play Boys of Summer, I don't know. And we play it and it works and it sounded good. And people, yeah, that was fake. So sometimes it's good to go wrong. It's okay for people to see that you're human, because then
just put in some mistakes so they know it's real. It's real.
But really, we started doing that. Nubby is perfect, you know. Just tick tick tick, just a little too soon, so we know that something could go wrong. And the same goes for the piano bar stuff. People, it's okay to sometimes say, hey, listen, I don't know the song, but here we go, you know?
Do you know what's really funny is I came into Crazy Pianos once and the speakers were so well mixed outside that I thought it was a CD. And I came in and Stevie was playing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, it sounds so good. It doesn't sound that good at the moment, but this was back in the day. I had other people saying, oh, we thought there was just a CD playing, you know, and that's actually not a good thing, because then they think it's not live.
Yeah, true. You want to draw people in by promising them live entertainment. Yeah,
exactly.
Of course, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, that's funny.
What advice would you have for new players?
Lose the fear. We were just talking about this.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Don't be afraid to fall flat on your face and try again. That's the biggest thing. It's the same as learning a new language, and I think more people can relate to that than to music. If people are looking at this, watching this, or listening to this, and they're not musicians, it's like learning a new language. Imagine go to Italy and knowing 10 words and still going to the grocery store and ordering all your stuff, you know? That's what we're doing every night. You have to lose your fear, and then all of a sudden everybody knows what you mean.
And what about if those young players are they're watching this and thinking, oh, I'd love to do this. What should they do? They have no idea. They're clueless. They can play piano. Yeah. They can sing a bit.
Yeah.
What should they do?
Listen to others.
So go to gigs where it's happening.
Yeah, man, and see how others approach this weird thing of going to a gig unprepared.
Because I think a lot of young people that are interested in such things just think, how the hell do I get into that? Yeah. How the hell did you get into it? And we talked about it earlier where you saw something and you went and hung out there basically until you could become a part of it. You know? And that's really good advice, even to say to people. You know?
Yeah, and you even said, like in the States at the piano bars there, that's the way it works. People come in, they do a couple songs, they do a half hour, I don't know, you know, and just gradually ease into it. And I think that's the way, because it's a weird thing, you know. If you go to music school, you get trained, conditioned to do things a certain way. Yeah, I'm kind of generalizing, obviously, but you know, and. What you do at a piano gig, you leave all that at the door. Yeah. You leave your ego at the door. You have to be fearless and be willing to bomb, really, and just go for it, you know. And the people connect to that, and then you can entertain people. You can connect with people, and so lose the fear, lose the ego, lose enjoy yourself and listen to other people how they approach this. Yeah, because it's a weird thing to go to a gig without a set list. It's just stupid. Why would you?
How do you find singing in different languages? Now I know you sing in English and Dutch. Yeah, and you've probably done for most of your life both languages. Yeah. You sing in other languages?
I know a couple German songs or a couple French songs. I'm not a big because all I just said about learning a new language. I'm kind of fearless, I think, on stage. With the languages, I'm different.
Yeah, I feel you there.
Pretty self-conscious, but well, your Dutch is good.
It's getting better for sure. Yeah, absolutely. It's been a real struggle though. I tell you, especially because everyone speaks English. Yeah. So it's been really hard. But for singing, it's even more difficult in the sense that your accent matters. Yeah. And so trying to slide that away is like a lot of work. Yeah, a lot of listening.
I can imagine,
and copying, you know. Yeah. And I wondered how you, I mean, like, do you ever feel really super self-conscious if you're trying to sing a German song to Germans, or if you're trying to sing a Spanish song to Spanish people, or?
Yeah, I do, because I try to put myself in their shoes. If I would ask someone, well, yeah, don't have to be cocky about it. That's the ego thing, really. I want to do as good a job as possible. But if I would listen to a French piano player sing a Dutch song, and I recognize it, and he's kind of humble about it, I would say, "Oh man, great job." But if you be cocky about it, oh, fuck you. This is not what I asked for, but it's fine. I'm here to have beer, whatever.
People do react like that. Though,
but they don't see the game sometimes. It's that
serious. I know, but it can be.
You still haven't played my obscure B-side. Why is that? You hate me.
Or they say, "Oh, you're not really Dutch, are you?" "Oh, yeah, no, I hear that." It's like, "Oh, thanks."
Yeah, thanks, man.
But next time, don't ask for that song.
I'll stop trying. Yeah.
I'll just go home and cry in my pillow.
Okay, I've got a challenge for you. I know it's going to kill the whole room, and I really want you to play it. And here's 20 euros to do it. Okay. Who are you helping with this?
Debussy. Let's do. Claire de Lune. Off you go. It goes no. You got it good. Okay, off you go. No, it's. I find it a struggle, but I always wonder how other people do. I mean, some people are less self-conscious about it, but for me, moving to the Netherlands and assimilating, it's been one of my greatest challenges. For sure, and I love it. I love it and I hate it. It's a a struggle, but. And I love it. Some nights are fantastic. Some nights I feel like everyone's looking at me going, "Oh," like this kind of thing. And it's like, "Oh, damn it," And same with Spanish. Oh my God, If I have what's his name from Crazy Piano standing in front of me when I'm trying to sing the manager.
What's his name?
Sebas. I'm suavemente, and he's like, I'm like, "Oh no, go away,
go away, don't listen to me."
Oh man, fuck. That's such a struggle. It's like, dude, please don't look at me like that. No, I'm doing my best here. The people are dancing.
Yeah, that's the thing. And people listen with their eyes also. So if you can get away with way too much, really, if you look convinced also. And especially in the heat of the moment with a song like that, when people are usually dancing and are listening there, when they hear a song like that, they look at each other, "Oh, I love this song." They're not starting to listen to, "Ooh, let's hear how he does it." It's not one of those songs. So it's, it doesn't. It does, but it doesn't really matter at that point. But but I know what you mean. You want to do a good job, and if people, sometimes it matters less than other times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How do you find the lifestyle of being a piano, as in generally with your life? Do you find it fantastic, or do you find it sometimes a bit of a struggle because you're not a regular 9 to 5? Because I think we operate outside the boundaries of regular hours. We're not the general population in a sense.
We're bats.
There's us and them kind of syndrome.
Yeah, there is. Well, I used to have for a couple of years I only spoke English because I didn't have a social life apart from Crazy Pianos, and there was always a foreigner present. So once there's one English speaking person there, you speak English. So I only spoke English. Because that was the only social life I had, really, which benefited me in the long run. But anyway,
your English is really good.
Yeah, but it comes from that, not having a social life, pretty much. Now I have kids. I've had kids for 19 years already. So then it gets different. I'd never go to birthdays or family functions or anything.
Like Christmases and stuff.
When something is arranged within my family, it's always on a Sunday afternoon, because that's probably when I could make it, It's never in the weekends. So that sucks. It really sucks. And I still struggle with that. And I'm always the odd one out that's not there. But I'm really, really, really conscious of the fact that I get paid to sing songs. Which is a ridiculous concept. It doesn't make any sense at all. At all. I get to do what I love most and get paid for it, and I even pay my mortgage with that.
I know.
It's so weird, and I'm still, after 26 years of doing this, I'm still really conscious of that. So that makes up for everything, because music is not a job; it's a passion, it's a way of life. It's not something I could turn off. And if I would have had an office job, I'd still make music with the same amount of passion.
Yeah.
You know, it's so there's that. So that makes up for most of it.
Yeah. I find that having a time to drop my kids at school and pick them up is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, like I actually get more time with my kids because I work at night.
True. I was there was not a father in the schoolyard that was there more than I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're with all the mums, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's still like that, but yeah, I spent so much time on the schoolyard picking up the kids and bringing the
How
kids.
old is your youngest?
My youngest turns 15 in July.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she's 14 now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
So they're all really big.
My youngest is 5.
Yeah.
So I'm still at the more hours in the day. You know what I mean? Like, so it gets less as they get older.
It gets different. It doesn't get less; it gets different. Because now, like my oldest two, they made not the best choice when they first started their education.
Oh, yeah.
So they're searching and still looking and growing into adults at the same time, which is for them a really difficult time in their life, I think. And as a parent, to guide them through that with all the hormones and everything going on, it's challenging time sometimes. So it's not as hands-on as they used to be when they were toddlers, but it's still.
I mean, the time management becomes easier because they're not dependent physically on you.
That's true. Yeah,
and so that's what can be very debilitating is the first 4 years of life. Now, even after 4, it gets easier.
Yeah,
you know, because now he goes to the toilet on his own and he puts his own clothes on.
He goes to school.
Yes, that's hey.
Yeah. Oh, that's a big.
Now I have my days back.
Yeah,
absolutely. Because I mean, you know, and we did make a point even when he wasn't going to school to send him to daycare so he can socialise because I think it's so important. You know, kids hanging around home, that's not good for them. You know, they need human contact.
What we used to do, I was behind the piano. Yeah, though. So I didn't have any human contact at the time.
Yeah. What, when you were 3?
No, when I was 3. When I was 7, that is.
I mean, I'm talking about before school.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, like that. Of course.
Like the first, they've really got to learn how to share because that's actually the biggest problem. They're like, no, that's mine. No. It's like, okay, calm down. It's you can have one each.
Yeah. You know. And get all their infant diseases also.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They all get that there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every call in existence. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh God, yes. That's and then give it to the family, and give it to the musician who has to sing.
Yeah, every night.
I went through a bad phase, man. I went through a couple. My first crazy pianos, I got a bad cold. Yeah. And actually moving countries. Yeah. If you move from one country to another and you get a cold, you pretty much guarantee that cold is going to be catastrophic because it's a new bug. And your body does not know how to cope with it.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
And when I first came to crazy pianos, that happened to me big time.
Oh, wow.
And Steve was like, oh, keep playing. And I did. I should have stopped because I think for 1.5 years I damaged my voice.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It didn't help that I smoked lots of weed and drank lots of alcohol. I think that probably was 90% of the reason why it didn't get better.
But still.
But,
And the need, yeah.
And then I thought, okay, I'm done with that. And then comes the kids.
Yeah.
And then comes the colds back from daycare.
Yeah.
And, oh, boy.
I wouldn't have missed it for the world, obviously.
But actually it does put you in, eventually, in a stronger position.
Yeah.
Because you've absorbed those colds and improved your...
True. But also it puts your feet back on the ground. It's easy to be on a stage every night and people clapping and cheering and thinking what you do is cool. And then there's the kids, and then everything gets put back into
regular
perspective.
life. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. I couldn't survive without it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be having a musician wife where all of our lives were just music. No. I need people to pull me away from it.
Yeah, well, that could work, and I know for a lot of people that has worked. But
for me personally, no.
Yeah, same here.
I tried it; it didn't work.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I need someone with completely different interests and a normal life to give me that. Yeah, because I need that as well.
Yeah, but the family needs to understand that this is an addiction, or it's not a normal job.
It's a religion.
Yeah, it is.
It's a way of life.
Yeah, it's a way of life. And if you can't cope with that or can't deal with that, then it's hard.
I got to say, I've been very lucky.
Yeah.
My wife is super fine with it, which, I think sometimes how? Because this is not normal.
No, it's training. And we're weird people also. Yeah. Who would spend so much time on one subject? It's not healthy.
Yeah.
we do, and I'm glad I can, and but I've been enabled to also. But
exactly,
that's the thing.
Yeah, you need it. If you could go back in time and give yourself one piece of advice as a beginning piano player, what would that be?
Oh God, I don't know. I'm not spiritual at all.
Oh, it's not a spiritual thing.
No, I know, but that was the start of my answer.
Oh,
it's
Jesus loves you.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah. Oh, you read my mind. No, I'm not spiritual at all. But I do think that everything happens for a reason. I'm the person I'm now and the place I am in now. I'm perfectly happy. I'm probably happier than I've ever been before.
Yeah.
And everything that ever happened led to this. So, what advice? I don't know. Don't change a thing. I give
enjoy.
Enjoy. Maybe that's it. Enjoy. Yeah. But I have. So that's
Yeah. And that's fantastic. Well, that's a good sign. That things have gone
I think so. Yeah. It's also maybe a sign of because there have been drawbacks and there have been harder times, but it hasn't all been a fairy tale life. Singing songs, getting paid, because there was Corona, for example, So
that was pretty heavy.
It was pretty heavy, yeah. But
Got to say, I enjoyed parts of it though.
Yeah.
I really like staying at home in my studio and writing and live streaming, and I got right into that, and I still played 2 or 3 days a week, to people online.
Yeah, of course, you did that.
And that's how I learned how to use all this gear.
There you go, and there's a lot of it now. Yeah. I watched Game of Thrones, which was cool.
Oh yeah.
So there was that, but
took 2 years.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I learned to do this. Oh well. Because that's all I could do for a while. So
did you do any online gigs at all?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I also just got divorced, and I had to buy a new house.
Oh my God! All that happening at the same time.
And then all the funds drying up because nothing was coming in, and had to do some serious reconstruction in my house. So I watched a lot of YouTube and built my own shower, bathroom. I don't know, everything. I never did before, so that's how I spend those days. Yeah. And it's humbling. It's also put your feet back on the floor again. So because the years before were great, and the sky was the limit, and I, business wise, everything was going really well. And then I get put back, and now I learn to okay, and on,
Yeah.
So that's what it brought me.
That's a skill.
Yeah, that's a skill. It's a big skill, and that's going to help me. So.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Yeah. So no advice. Just enjoy.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, right now I would love to move to the piano.
Okay.
And let's do that.
Yeah.
And let's do something cool. Let's do a song.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we should.
Okay. So maybe you could play a song. Well, I mean, it's up to you entirely. But what I like to ask usually is that people do a song that they feel comfortable doing all the time, like what's a song sometimes you go in and you do a lot of the time when you open,
Oh, like an autopilot song.
Yeah.
An autopilot song. Yeah, there's a couple of those.
Yeah.
I don't know why I play this. I always do because I like the piano lick, I think. How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. So there's that one. There's what do you do when you're lonely, with no one waiting by your side? And there's I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. So there's a couple songs, autopilot songs. Yeah,
there should be an autopilot medley.
Yeah,
for sure. That's
my autopilot medley.
I never thought of that before, but that's a really good idea.
Well, these are all songs that are middle of the road. They probably appeal to a bigger crowd, and they're not offensive at all.
Yeah, and actually, I find just listening now, it's the first time I've heard you just play on piano How Sweet It Is.
Yeah.
And that's actually not the first time that I've heard someone do that here.
Yeah.
But your approach, you rhythmically, is very different. It's really cool, actually. I like
cool. Thanks.
Yeah, that kind of does emulate the shuffle just on the piano, you know.
It does, yeah. I like the shuffle. I like. I'm not a stylistic monster because I never really studied anything like that. But there's some things that like That's Alright Mama, which is pretty much a country song, which would be considered one of the first rock and roll songs. But Elvis's first one. But I played at Well, that's alright, mama. It's a completely different feel, but
but that's actually really cool.
Yeah, I like
because it's actually quicker than that normally, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's
probably,
all right.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Maybe, yeah, but it sounds a lot more like I do it. Yeah,
that's all right with me. Yeah, and so that,
yeah.
But the way you just played it is a totally different feel.
It's all a different thing. Yeah,
that was really cool.
I like doing that. Yeah.
So look, I mean, I find one of your kind of super skills is connecting with the crowd, entertaining, you know, and making people feel at ease. You know, you're really good at that. And what kind of things do you do to connect with people as a piano player and entertain?
Ooh.
What are some of your tools in your toolbox that you have?
Oh, that's not sexy at all.
No.
It's a very methodic way of playing, I think. When I play, I always look around in the crowd and see what's happening. Okay. If people are not going crazy, I never get frustrated, because if they do this or they tap their feet or you see them like with their hand on it's fine. Okay, then you've connected. Yeah. It's fine. Mm-hmm. If I feel I want to go places, I want to have people clap their hands, not because I need the rhythm, but when people clap their hands, they're paying attention. They're looking at you. So then if you first have them clap their hands and then you ask them something, they listen. If you ask them something without them clapping their hands, less chance. Not just a little bit, but a lot less chance.
Yeah.
Also, I look at if there's different groups in the room, who the leader is, and I approach those, or I ask them questions, or I challenge them. I kind of be.
How do you figure out who the leader of a group is?
Oh, you always see. You just ask something at a table. The first one, or they'll look at the same person. There's always one.
Oh, okay.
Or a couple, and you address those, because if they work, the whole table works.
Yes.
So it's very methodic. It's trial and error, but it's not something I do just out of. It's not a feel thing. It's really.
You have a process.
I have a process.
That's precisely why I asked.
Yeah.
Because I find that very fascinating. Everybody has a different process.
Yeah.
Do you have stock things that you say?
Yeah, I have some random jokes. I really like mixing up sayings. And see who connects, because then you also know who's paying attention. You know? So it's like a Dutch saying, we zien wel waar het strand stopt.
Yeah.
That's not the way it works, but you see people, they listen, and then they react. And the people that react, they're paying attention. So if you want something from the crowd, that's the one to address.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's,
right. It's little things, yeah. So,
and what about in English? Do you have any things that you say in English that...
I kind of do some witty introduction. Hey, my name is Hans. That's Dutch for Hans. Then you know exactly who's listening and who's not.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a good point. Making silly jokes and seeing who's actually.
Yeah, because I do this all the time. My kids hate me for it, but it has a function on stage. It works.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. And when playing with a drummer, which is another thing entirely. What are you looking for in a drummer?
The drummer. I'm looking for the drummer. So if I love, like I just did, like How Sweet It Is, or That's All Right, Mama. I like people's interpretations of things. Yeah. And there's some drummers that I've played with, you've played with also. If you hear him play, you know exactly who it is, and that's the kind of drummer I like to play with. So what I look for is feel and soul and the person, and then you're making music. If else I could have pressed play and play with a drum machine, which is not fun at all.
No.
Yeah. So I like people interact. Sometimes when you play with a new guy or girl, and I do a weird change or weird break, and if they pick up on it, then okay, I know where to go. I never cue people like, hey, do this, do that, but I know up front if they're into it like that or not. So if I make a left turn, they come along, great, we can have great fun. If they don't, that's fine too. Yeah. And that's a different approach. Yeah. So I don't really look for specific qualities or anything. I just want them to be themselves, because then they play best usually.
What are some of the things that you learned in piano entertaining from, so like Crazy Pianos, for example, that you use still today?
Most of what I do, because I've played there for so long and I play with so many different people.
Yeah. But for example, what are some of the things that you do that you learned from there?
Specifics.
Yeah.
The hand clapping thing. That's a big thing. That's also always the Americans. Yeah, clap your hands. And then I later found out why that is. I think most people don't even realize why it works. But
it's a funny thing, hand clapping. It's something I've analysed in my time, because when you get people clapping their hams. I
heard that, yeah. I didn't respond, but I heard it.
Big ham, bonk, bonk. When you get people clapping their hands, it can die pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Or, I found that keep trying to get them, but then I kind of resign myself to the fact, no, if they don't want to clap, let it die off, because you can bring it back again.
Yeah.
And actually, you don't want clapping all the way through it if you're going to do a long song, or if you're going to do one that's 2 minutes long, 2 minutes of clapping, You want the moments where the clapping is, punctuated by the moment, And so then Fire, for example, I'd often do that song and then get people clapping and they'll kind of fizzle out. And then you come to that bit, my heart plays cool.
Yeah.
And then you got the silence and then you get people clapping again,
Yeah.
And then there it is again. And there's another moment.
Yeah.
If you had people clapping the whole time, that moment wouldn't have been a moment.
True. Yeah.
But what about yourself? Do you?
Yeah. Well, I would never have him clap through a song, because I always have him clap before I want him to do something else. Clapping is just a way to get their attention, really.
Right.
So not as a rhythmic thing, except when it's We'll Rock You or something. Then it's. Needed, or Radio Gaga.
I think in Fire it's not really needed rhythmically. It's more like, I've got your attention now, I want you to sing Fire.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Yeah, but if you start at the and driving in my car, that's too long, because then it fizzles out. Because okay, so what are we gonna do? Yeah. Oh yeah. And then it's over.
But and actually, sometimes in the beginning I'll do it, knowing that it's going to fizzle out, but only because I want to get people's attention. So that they know, okay, once you've clapped, you're involved, right? Okay, it might fizzle out, but you know what's happening here.
Yeah.
And I explained, hey, the word is fire. It's really simple.
You've been there, yeah.
Yeah. So even getting them in the beginning just to clap and letting it fizzle out means that you've contacted them, and it'll be okay when you do it again.
Yeah, they were there.
Yeah.
They know.
So they know the drill.
You're aware of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because I think, I find sometimes with piano entertaining is that it can be really difficult to break the ice.
Yeah.
Some people, you'll be at a gig and everyone's having a little private conversation and they're talking quietly and you think to yourself, okay, do I smash them in the face or do I let them keep talking?
Yeah.
And just put little teasers and see when they're ready, because sometimes they're just not ready.
No.
And, you can, and I remember Tim Bowie, great entertainer, he would often beat them to a pulp until they did what he said.
Yeah.
And I found that really amazing because he would get the crowd going, but I also found it a bit uncomfortable sometimes.
Yeah, but he was, oh God, I learned so much from him.
Same.
He could stand up and clap his hands twice, make a pirouette, fart in the mic.
Yeah.
and that's it. And people would,
Yeah.
and so he learned. This is all not true, but you know what I mean. And but he would do this weird stuff, and people would love it.
Yeah.
And so I figured, so it's not about the music.
No.
You know,
absolutely.
And he was an amazing piano player, also a great entertainer, great singer.
Yeah,
but he did
still
that
is.
too, and he still is. He's not dead.
No.
No.
He's I think he's an icon in the seas at the moment.
That's a great thing about social media, of course.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody's hanging out.
So didn't exist back in the day.
No,
But
good, thank God. But he was, he's one of the ones that I learned most from in that respect.
Yeah.
And also, this is amazing. Junior Juliet, one of those guys too. He was just very charismatic, amazing musician, but just his stage presence, the way he talked to people, and he had them before he started.
He's a real salesman.
Yeah,
like he can sell ice to an Eskimo as far as piano entertainment is concerned. I've seen him do it. He'll get the people somehow linked with him. It's magic.
I know. And Tim had the same thing, but there's more to this, because these people are just amazing entertainers, amazing musicians. And then I broke off with my then girlfriend, and I had to move my washing machine. And Tim and Junie were there at 9 a.m. to move my washing machine.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's so, and then there's that, you know.
Tim's a very nice guy and amazing entertainer. For Crazy Pianos, I was going into the YouTube or the Google research, for pictures and videos, and I found quite a bit on Tim. You know, and learning more about what he's done since Crazy Pianos and stuff. And you still see him doing the same thing with crowds, He's just amazing. I found some really old pictures of Crazy Pianos because he always used to break the keys, from hitting the keys so hard. Yeah, exactly. But that I actually wrote a song, Bowie's Boogie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that I wrote it for my son to learn when I was teaching him how to play Boogie Woogie.
Yeah.
Because it was inspired by some things that I heard Tim do.
Yeah. Cool.
That were simple but fantastic, really work well, So he's definitely was a great influence on me. Yeah. And but everybody has their own way,
of course.
And as I was saying to you before, you have various sayings and things you do, or the way you joke. Your own little approach. Anything to add to that at all? Like things you might think of that you do?
Oh God! Well, talking of Tim, raising the piano with your legs, I'm a little afraid to do it to this great piano. It's really easy, but it looks really impressive. Like the grand piano's dancing.
What's funny is Crazy Pianos put that in their show.
Really?
With hydraulics.
Oh, really?
And made the pianos move up and down.
Oh, wow!
I saw it online somewhere. I saw where the pianos, and there was smoke and the pianos were moving up and down.
We had that with the Coronas. That's the band I had before the originals. Yeah. We had a big grand piano, an aluminum thing. It's huge. Yeah. But there was a measuring mistake, so it turned out 1 meter too big, I think. Like a Stonehenge situation.
Right, okay.
Yeah, anyway. And there was a smoke machine in there, and the back leg could drop down. So it started smoking, and it just crashed down. The back crashed down. It happened, we did that 10 years ago.
Was it 10 years ago?
Yeah.
I thought it was longer.
Oh, longer? Yeah, because I think that's... Yeah, because I started the originals in 12, so this must have been 10, 14 years ago.
Yeah, I think you started doing stuff with the Coronas in about 2005 or 6 or something.
4 even.
Yeah, right.
6 we already went to the Olympics.
With Harold?
With Harold, yeah.
Yeah.
And Danny Ten Have and Jan Roymans. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And we played at the Olympics twice.
Was that with the Coronas?
Yeah.
Yes, I remember you telling me in the Heineken tent.
Yeah, you can call it a tent. Yeah, it was.
The Heineken.
The Holland Heineken House. Yeah, we did that in Beijing and in Torino. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So, because you had other bands as well, as we talked about now with the originals.
Mm-hmm.
The concept is still similar. You're doing a request, but you're doing it with a band.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how does that concept work that varies to piano entertaining?
Well, the way it started was we wanted we wanted the interaction and the request thing is amazing. That's really cool. But like key bass is fun and all, but if you want to play a rock song, you want a guitar, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you want a bass player.
Yeah.
In an ideal world, and so we wanted to play request with a band.
Yeah.
So you have to, you can't just work with notes. That's just too messy. So we figured, let's have somebody actually name their song through a mic. So that's what we started doing with the Coronas. We had a balcony in the middle of the room, in between the people. That's where somebody was standing, kind of a gatekeeper for the microphone. And when we thought it was time, people walked up and they requested a song, and everybody could hear it. So if it's Rammstein or K3 or whatever, you have to play it, you know. And so that's the fearlessness comes from there.
I mean, sometimes would you just play a few seconds of a song you really don't know, but you kind of know how it goes? Do you ever do that?
No, not really.
You play the whole song?
Yeah. Or we play something else from the...
Or maybe you just do a chorus and a verse.
And if it really happens that it's a really weird song, because nowadays our lead singer's in the middle. It started out as just a gateway with a mic, and now the lead singer's actually in the middle of the crowd. And if something like that happens... And it's really a weird song, then you can just ask the crowd, you know, don't be afraid to bomb. There he goes again. Who heard of this? And most of the times, nobody has, and then it's fine. You're gone. You're just messing with us. You know,
okay.
That song doesn't exist. Go away. But that's the last resort. But usually you know something from the same artist, or something that sounds like it, or just a couple bars, and then you bomb, and it's fine.
Yeah,
you can bomb. It's
well, it is a live situation.
Yeah,
playing songs from thousands of people, that can be rather tricky.
There you go. Yeah, and it also brings you that makes that it's not a top-down show. It's not something you deliver. Watch me. You know, you do it together with the crowd, and when you're vulnerable, people relate to you easier, so you get a better crowd reaction, and it's just a better party.
How do you practice?
I don't.
You don't?
No.
Well, what about learning new songs?
In the car. Listen to them.
So you practice in the car?
Yeah, like that.
But I mean, you know, if you're going to learn a new song and you want to get it right on the piano and singing, you're going to do something at home, aren't you? Like, you're not going to...
But like, sometimes there are songs with weird changes, like Andrew Gold, Lonely Boy.
Oh, God, it's a great song.
I don't know. I probably... That's something I would look up.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Oh, lonely boy. Actually,
so basically what you're doing now, that's how you practice at home.
But it's not longer than this.
Yeah.
So now I know. Oh, lonely boy. Oh, yeah, that's pretty much it.
But you have to memorize the lyrics. So do that in the car, singing along to it, and then you just get to the gig and try it? Or do you try the full thing at home first to get confidence?
No, never. I've never played a full song at home, ever.
That's bananas.
I do it in the car. What I just did, this is the typical rehearsal session for me, for piano. For the band, it's different, because with a band, you have to rehearse, you know? That's a different thing. And I have to work harder on guitar than on piano, because piano, I've been doing since I was 7, guitar since puberty, so it's different. But no, I never played a full song at home, I think, ever.
Oh, wow. Do you have like a studio set up at home, or no?
No, I used to, and I never really used it. So what I do now, if we do recordings for the originals or for thing, I do all the mix downs and the production at home, but I do that with good headphones and a headphone plug-in, like a Sonar works. What is it?
Oh yeah, Sonar.
Yeah, it works. And no, I since I moved houses, I haven't still set up my studio speakers. They're still in a box somewhere. Okay,
but you've got a space where you produce and practice and stuff.
I have got a piano in my living room. That's it. And I do everything on my kitchen table, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, including mixing or stuff.
Everything.
On your laptop or something.
Yep, laptop and kitchen table. You also, for the invitation for this podcast, so you bring your own gear, everything. I don't have gear. I never owned a drum machine in my life.
Yeah. I mean, you're not the only one.
No.
But for gear people, they bring the gear and they talk about the gear.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother subject entirely, you know. I am a bit of a gear lover, as you can see. I've got lots of it.
Yeah.
So for me, that's kind of fun. But you're living proof of you don't actually need a lot of gear to do this job.
No.
And you're one of the few people that still do, places like Maxim without gear, because a lot of people do use gear in the solo world. And I'd say you don't actually do a lot of solo stuff, do you?
No, but that's because of my band also.
Yeah.
My band is my main thing.
Yeah.
By the way, not a lot of gear. You should see my pedal board, which is ridiculous.
Okay, so guitar gear, that's a different thing.
I'm a guitar nerd, and that I've got so much more gear than I need, ever will.
Yeah.
But I don't own a stage piano. I have one of these actually. I have a FA06.
Yeah.
I have one of those because I'm used to it, and that's it. I think that's the only synth I've ever owned. I had a DX7, but actually no, I had it in my place. It was my band's. My student bands back in the day, so I had that at home. That's the only synth I ever owned.
How do you find playing like this? Do you find that more difficult, or like with the top keyboard?
I've had shoulder problems, but I always put my hand down.
You see how I've got it set up now?
Yeah.
With it slightly back?
Yeah.
So you've got that blank space between?
I always have that.
Yeah, I do that.
I rest my hand.
The crazy pianists, they always move it right at the front. I'm like, no, I need to rest my hand.
Yeah.
I don't want, because I also had shoulder problems with doing that. But since I've been resting my palm underneath it, then it's no problem anymore.
Yeah, that's what I do. I usually have it a little further away, like this. And
that was definitely a problem for me. But how do you find that split keyboard? Because I mean, some people have trouble sometimes playing. Did you find that really different to just playing piano?
Yeah, it is different. Actually, it messed up my piano playing because I find when I play piano without thinking, all my left hand's doing is play octaves nowadays. That's all. There's no chord work. There's a bass player in a band, so my left hand shouldn't be playing bass.
That's right.
And it's really hard for me to get out of that now.
Yeah, I hear you. You feel so naked when you take away the bottom end.
But also when I play Maxims and I want people to dance, you have to have a strong left hand. Yes. So that's where the rhythm comes from, and like I said earlier, my approach to playing is the bass comes first. Actually, the singing comes first, then the bass, then the piano. Piano is the last thing, although it's a piano bar. And that also goes when I play just piano and singing. When there's people dancing, then most of the attention goes to my left hand for the groove and the beat, and the right hand is last. Yeah.
Do you write your own songs?
No.
You've never written your own songs?
I have, but then was in the context of a show for the band. But I'm convinced that's the first question people ask you. Oh, so you have your own songs, and because you're a musician? Yeah. No. Oh, well, why not? Because you could be in the top 40. Yeah, but that's what it happened. But I don't have any interest in writing my own stuff because I feel if there's people like Paul McCartney, Stevie Wonder, and Freddie Mercury around, why would I ever write my own songs if so many amazing songs have already been written,
Yeah.
I just want to grab them where they are and then just bring them out to the crowd. That's what I like doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't. I'm the vessel thing. That's
yeah. Well, I mean, there's something to be said for it. I mean, like I'm a songwriter, but I do it for fun because I love it. I'm not trying to push my own agenda or career because, as you say, that's another direction. You know, I mean, if you can have the choice. You could be a musician who makes money, good money, has a good life, and nobody knows. Mm-hmm. Or you can struggle your ass off to be successful with your own music and famous, and let's just say you do become that. And then everybody knows who you are and you can't go anywhere without being harassed. Yeah. And this is it. You're a one-trick pony for the rest of your life. Yeah. That's, what you do. And to me, that doesn't sound very appealing at all.
No, makes sense.
Where's the room for my family in that? That's a very almost dare I say, narcissistic way of living. It's all about me, 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 me.
Yeah.
And I have to be famous, or I have to be on the top of everybody. But then when you you could say it because I when I was younger, I was like, I'm going to be famous when I'm 18, when I was like, I don't know, 16 or something, not having any idea about time and process or my ability compared to what I needed to be doing. But, maybe you could say that, this is just the reasoning and kind of rationale I took to justify my failure.
Yeah.
But having a family and living a happy life is not a failure.
No, but
quite
also
the opposite.
not becoming famous is not a failure.
Absolutely.
But it's good to have goals and to have a point of horizon to travel towards. But not becoming famous is normal.
Yeah, that's it. And I think I really valued normal.
Yeah.
Because I actually had a very normal upbringing by the beach. Surfing and skateboarding was actually probably even just the same as music for me. It was just as important. We went surfing 5 days a week, and tried stupid skateboarding things all the time. And I think life without that, being on the road and just being a musician, but that's only a very small part of me, Well, not a small part, but still, what would life be without the rest of it,
Yeah.
What are you doing at the moment? Where are you?
Right at the moment, I'm guiding my kids toward a successful future. I hope.
Yeah.
I hope I'm guiding. Let's put it like that, because you never know with people in puberty. But that's a lot of energy goes towards that, and I love doing that. Yeah. With my band, we're constantly working on new stuff. Last year, we worked towards a 1 hour show.
This is the originals, yeah?
Originals, yeah. A 1 hour show, and actually with our singer on stage instead of in the middle of the room, which is a big leap in the concept for us, but it works out really well. And now we do support act for Edwin Evers' band, a famous Dutch act, an old DJ actually, who has his own amazing band, and we open up for him. Which is really cool to do, and it took so much time to get here, but it's so rewarding to actually work on something and see work on stage, and it's a big departure for us because in the 1 hour you have to instantly grab the crowd by the balls instead of when you do an evening 3 times 45 minutes show. You can ease into something, It's you have to still be entertaining, and we're there, and we are. But right now, with the second song, you have to have them, else it's over. And we don't have to be that aggressive usually, so it's a different approach. So that's what we're doing, which is really cool.
Did you spend a lot of hours doing this together, rehearsing, coming up with ideas?
Yeah.
This is something that I wish that I could do, like as in have a group of people coming up with ideas together. Yeah. It's hard to get people together.
Yeah.
Do you find that?
Well, with this group, it's not.
Because you're all motivated for the same goal.
We really want to go for it. For example, everybody plays dance songs, which is cool, and everybody plays Faithless and Insomnia, and it all sounds great. But we wanted to play a medley of songs, dance songs that actually sound like the originals. So what we did, we got 4 guitars and we play everything live. There's no tape or anything. Everything's live, but we all play keyboard parts and we do a medley of dance songs. And the drummer plays on the 909 kit with all the sound effects that he needs and all the stuff that's needed.
Oh, cool.
But the drums are live and played on a keyboard, and everybody has the guitars on, and we do a medley of amazing dance songs.
Is it on YouTube? Or?
Should be around the time this comes out.
Okay, yeah.
So that's what we're working on, and it's so much fun to be that creative. Our singer is a trained opera singer. He studied classical music as a singer, and we figured might as well work that into the show. So our last song is "Time to Say Goodbye" by Andrea Bocelli. And he does that really classical way. So we have a classical arrangement, and we play all the keyboard parts, and it sounds like a.
That's really cool.
It's really nice and
stuff
like that.
Quite a new concept, really.
Think out of the box,
it's cool. Totally.
Yeah.
I remember seeing something of you guys doing one act where you had one piano when you were jumping around,
Oh
playing on the
yeah, we
parts?
did that in a theater show. We had one piano, and the whole band was involved with the one piano, but it was on wheels, and it was driving around rolling around the stage, and yeah, it's
That
really
was really
cool.
cool. Yeah, that was a good idea.
Yeah, yeah.
And where are you playing this year?
This year.
And do you have any website presence? Social media presence or?
Yeah, but for my solo stuff, I don't. I just have my personal thing,
Yeah.
and I don't do too much self promotion because my agenda has to be available for the band. So that.
But what about the band? Is that online?
The band? Yeah. The originalsmusic.nl and the originals music NL on socials, on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok's coming soon. Working on good content for that, and there's a website.
I started doing TikTok not so long ago, but I find that's my favorite one now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I like the algorithm. I like the way it works. It gets to a lot of people very quickly.
Yeah.
And you don't need much on there. You need 10 seconds. You know?
Yeah, true.
And for clients, that's all they need to see. They don't need to see you screw a tune up completely. They just need to see little clips of things. You know?
Yeah.
And they go, oh, we like that concept.
Yeah, we do have a lot of 10-second bits, really. So it's
shorts.
We could do that. We should dive more into that. But it's an art form in itself, the whole social media thing.
Yeah, it is.
So, and I want to approach that. We try doing it. We do some cowardlish small steps into the social media world, but we're just not really good at it. It's a skill that we don't have. We can play 5,000 songs, but a decent social media channel is still hard. So
it is, man. It's a skill.
I'm gonna get professionals to think along with us to make something worthwhile. Like I don't want to just put anything on there and just see what happens.
I know the vibe. Yeah. It's hard work. Yeah. You know, and there are people that know better.
True, and also you get if it's bad, people will hold you accountable for it. You know, that's also the case.
Exactly,
it's your advertising. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. I would love to end this chat on a favorite song you love to play, something sentimental to you, or something you love to play.
Okay. I felt this question was coming. Yeah, I thought about what to do because there's, you get this question also. What's your favorite song? Play your favorite song.
You know what my favorite song at the moment is?
No.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Really?
I love playing Bohemian Rhapsody.
It's amazing.
Because I know all the parts now. So, you know, I got the multi-track and I listened to the guitar parts and I learnt them on the keyboard, you know.
Yeah.
And it's in a good key for me. It's a good belt. And
you do it in A, don't you?
No.
Did B flat?
Well, is it B flat? Yes.
Yeah, the verse, that is.
Yeah, that's the actual key.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And I just I love playing it. For me, it's so much fun.
It is. It's an amazing song. It's a really good song to involve the people. We also started doing that with the band, but the whole thing, no tapes, just us singing and the works.
Oh, that's something I've never had the pleasure of doing, is doing it with people that can actually sing the harmonies. You know?
It's hard.
That would be so much fun.
It took us the better part of a year, I think, to get that.
It's full on, man.
Going convincingly.
Do you have the multi-track of that?
I do. It's swerving around the internet.
Yes. I've had it for years, and it's really. I didn't have the multi-track of the harmonies though. The harmonies is just one block, which is a pity because I would have loved to split them up. You know?
Yeah, I know.
I think you can probably get it transcribed though.
I transcribed it because I'm really bad at reading charts, but I actually I know a little. I have a subscription to Sibelius, or what's it called?
Sibelius.
Yeah, and I got that for Bohemian Rhapsody because I really wanted to do it with the band, and I wanted some good charts that are understandable. Yeah. So I just started doing it myself.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and
the best way to learn how to read is to write.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. Although I did cheat, I started in Cubase. And made I took the multi-tracks and then I put it all on the grid and then I listened bar for bar, putting the right notes until it sounded right, and then I transcribed that to.
That's a good way of doing it. However, you have to get there because at the end of the day, you see the result, and then you go, "That's what this looks like." And then you know in future. That's what this looks like. That's half the process.
Yeah, it works. So but I thought about what to do, and I figured I could do a Queen song. But actually, what really early on, right before I started at Crazy Pianos, I was really into Agda and the Munich. Dutch group.
Love them.
And it's a duo. And Paul de Munnik, he's the piano player, and he has this kind of cabaret theatrical style, and he has some songs that I'm pretty sure are mostly him on the first album, and that's I grew up. I matured listening to that, really, and that's how I met Roel also, because he had the same interest in Acta de Munnik, and so I figured I'd play one of those.
Yeah, which one?
Lopen tot de zon komt.
Oh, yes. I had that requested not long ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is random.
It's really random, and it rarely happens, but it's such a beautiful song. And I like the darker, the more depressed part of the musical spectrum.
Yeah, I get you.
That's where I live.
Yeah, that's kind of the where your soul feels it the most. You know?
Yeah, I guess so. And I'm a really optimistic person, and I'm not depressing at all, and I'm not a goth, how my kids would call it, and I don't cut myself. I like Billie Eilish. Oh, do you cut yourself? No, I don't.
No, she's awesome, and my daughter loves her.
Oh God, it's amazing.
She's got some beautiful songs. Do you know TV?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually did on Sibelius, I made a simple version of that for my daughter to learn.
Yeah, oh really?
Teaching a piano. She would, I tried teaching her earlier, and she never really got it because she hated these books that I had from 1940s, with stupid bloody Scarborough Fair or something, which is totally nothing to do with the kids. No. So I started thinking, okay, well, let's just get the tunes she listened to and make them simple,
Yeah.
And TV, beautiful song, and she plays it now and can play it. Simply, but it still sounds beautiful.
Great, man.
She's got a great voice too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not my daughter, well, she also does, but Billie Eilish.
Oh, she's got an amazing voice.
Yeah.
And the way she, the whispery thing, and the singing as soft as you can. Great.
I know. She's coming, actually.
She is?
My daughter's been trying to get tickets.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're sold out in like 5 minutes.
I'm taking my kids to see AC/DC in June.
Same.
Yeah.
I'm going with my son.
Oh, really?
And his friend, yeah.
I'm taking my 3 kids.
I've been to that, and I've got to say, make sure you've got earplugs.
I've been there too, and I bring earplugs.
And I was in a stadium listening to them in Australia, at the back of the stadium, and my ears were bleeding.
Yeah.
That's how, it was so painful.
Yeah, but...
The guitar, it cut your face off.
I know. Yeah. I know. I'm looking forward to it.
So anyway, I digress. Let's hear Acta de Munnik.
Yes. Kijk naar buiten door het raam. Zie me staan hier in de sneeuw. Ik ben gekomen om te lachen, om de blunder van de eeuw. Laat je man maar rustig slapen. Hebben wij even de tijd. Blijf maar warm bij het raam staan. Ik wil alleen even wat kwijt. Of eigenlijk wil ik wat weten. Heb je nu alles wat je wou? Werd je wakker met een glimlach? Zegt hij vaak ik hou van jou. Houdt hij je van soms als je bang bent? Kent hij je angst en je verdriet? Alleen maar schudden met je hoofd, lief. Logisch dat je me verliet. Ik ga weg. Ik ga lopen tot de zon komt. Ik ga weg. Tot de zon me achterhaalt. Lopen tot de zon komt, tot die straalt. Blijf maar binnen, het is goed zo. Ik wou je zien als laatste keer. Wat we samen vroeger droomden, weet de helft van ons niet meer. Ik hoop dat je gelukkig wordt. Ik hoop dat ik me niet vergis.
Ik hoop dat ik gelukkig word, nu ik zie wat ik zo mis. Houd hier van soms als je bang bent. Kent hij je angst en je verdriet. Alleen maar schudden met je hoofd, lief. Logisch dat je me verliet. Ik ga lopen tot de zon komt, tot de zon me achterhaalt. Lopen tot de zon komt, tot die straalt.
Nice one, man. I like it.
I messed up the ending, but it's
Did
fine.
you?
It's fine.
No, it's a really nice song.
Life is
I really
life,
like it.
yeah.
That's the first time I've heard it.
Really?
So, yes. I mean, I had it requested. I was like, oh, I don't know that one. I should really listen to some Acton and Munich. Yeah. Is that from the 70s, 80s period?
No, it's in the 90s.
Oh, end of 90s?
Yeah, in the 90s. Yeah.
So have they been around since the 80s or not?
No, I think I saw them first do it. They did a tryout at when I first started studying in Rotterdam, and this was in '95. And they were really unknown.
Oh, okay.
And they were just hired to do a performance for the students, the new students.
Okay.
And that's when I first saw them, and I was instantly impressed. And then I think in '97 that their first album out, '96, '97.
I say that because the piano style is very much reminds me of like early Elton John.
Yeah.
You know, do you know the song "Empty Garden"?
No, I don't know.
Okay, this is a really I think it's from Single Man, which is early Elton John, and it has that sound about it, which is really cool. I like it.
Yeah.
It's a really iconic piano sound. You know, even with things like what is it? Het regent on the stralen. This is also very similar. You know, the style of piano playing.
Yeah.
But I think that's also part of the folk style of Dutch music as well.
Yeah,
you know?
I think they're rooted pretty much in the theater world more than the pop.
Oh, okay.
Especially Paul de Munnik, I think. I think Thomas Akda is more the rock and roll Beatle, strum my guitar and sing songs all day, you know. And I think Paul de Munnik is more like a theater vibe to it. And together, they do lead vocals together. They're harmonies.
Yes.
You can't tell which.
You can't. No.
That's the fun part. People love it or hate it. I love it.
Yeah.
And but this is. I think he's more rooted into.
To be honest with you, with Het regent on the straat, I never know which note to sing. Because like, well, which one is the lead? Because they sound the same.
Yeah, it's true.
No,
and they cross over.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I love it. It's absolutely fantastic. One of my favorite songs to do, especially early on, because it's something that connects, and yet it's not intense.
Yeah.
And you don't need drums for it. For the first 80% of the tune, is Het regent on the straat.
I know.
Yeah.
Glad you say that. Yeah, because a lot of people start drums immediately because the whole build up of the song is good. It's
I hate it when there's. I'm like, stop. Just nothing. It's okay. It's okay. You can. I'm not going to be mad.
One of my their other they have this song called and this is it, the whole song long. Zoals het in een film gaat. Ik zag je lopen over straat. That's the whole thing, you know. That's
no drums, just piano and that.
That's it. Well, there's on the rim of the tom or something. That's the.
I know that song. I love it. You know, Roel used to play that sometimes.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah, I sometimes do it too because it's.
I've heard you do
it.
It's
one of those middle of the road happy.
Yeah. I've heard you do that early in the night.
Yeah.
That's
one of
cool.
those. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Listen, it was so much fun having you here.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
No, man, that's absolutely awesome. Thanks so much for coming.
Thanks so much for talking.
And good luck with the band, man.
That's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, man.
Cheers.
Thanks. Cool.
Yeah. Thanks again for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as every Tuesday we interview another international piano entertainer. Check out our links in the description, and until next time, have a great week.